So, this film is titled How Not to Film a Fishing Video. And that might sound strange, but bear with me, I'll explain. I put it down to getting a new camera, with this being my first session using it. And although the camera is wicked, the first session was always going to be transitional, perhaps a few errors until I'd get used to the new settings, etc. But I didn't realise it would be quite so bad. But instead of binning the footage and sacking the film off, I decided to show it, warts and all. Some of it was okay. Take this duck for example. Looks great, right? Nice and detailed, and that's all the way across the lake. It's the close-ups I struggled with, most notably the fish shots. The session started really well. Only one rod out in the point swim, and before I could tackle up the second, it was away. The new camera, you see, has super duper autofocus, which I thought would be a breath of fresh air, but it's brilliant when it comes to focusing on me, and totally ignores the fish. It's a lovely common, don't get me wrong. It's known as the big common, obviously, and weighing in at almost 27 pounds. But I'd have liked the footage to have been in focus. And you'll see a pattern here throughout the film. To be fair, the common wasn't terrible, and neither was this dumpy little two-tone mirror, a nice true representation of the scene I saw on the day. And that's what we try to achieve wherever possible. No filters, no darkening for no reason, just true to life, in focus footage. But for some reason it went pear-shaped thereafter. With a new camera, a fairly expensive upgrade, comes a desire for film quality to go up a notch, to take them to the next level, and I strongly believe that will happen. But there will have to be a bedding in process, at least until I get familiar with using the new system. The take shots are great, filmed on the Osmo. They definitely add something cool to the films. And here is where the out of focus carp is most noticeable, and you'll see this for the next few fish. My face is great, every imperfection clearly visible, but the carp is out of focus, the issue being that my eyes aren't brilliant, and spotting this on a tiny 2-inch screen is just about impossible. Even Jessica struggled to spot it. I just took it for granted that the autofocus would do what I wanted it to do, when all along it was searching for my eyes and not the carp's eyes. We had a flurry of fish that afternoon, including some seriously beautiful carp. The fishing was awesome. After a hectic but enjoyable day, we settled down to have dinner, lit a fire, and with the rods out of the water for the night, we laid awake after having a barbecue, whilst watching bats through the mozzie mesh and listening to the tawny owls. The morning was chilly. I woke just before 6 and got the rods ready. NMG isn't a night water, for me, nor is it a morning's water, so I always tend to get a good kip and commence fishing just before breakfast. It's all about the coffee. Well, not really, but it's something I've come to enjoy a lot. One special cup in the morning sets the day up right. Freshly ground beans brewed through an AeroPress. It's a fundamental part of the day now, whether fishing or at home. The smell of coffee, the sound of sizzling bacon and birdsong, along with the Fox Micron, that's what makes a truly special morning. And once again, we have an out of focus carp. It's a stunning fish too, the kind of carp that keeps me coming back here time after time. And although it's sad that very few of these fish are in focus, it serves as a valuable lesson that will put me in good stead going forward. Lessons learnt and all that. One being that if I switch the aperture to f4 from 1.8, it looks much better and more of it is in focus, as you can see here. More luck than judgment, but certainly something to remember. So, what about bait, I hear you ask? Well, the bait of choice, as always, was Sticky Bait's krill. It's an element of my fishing I don't have to worry about, unlike the camera skills. An out-of-the-bag 16mm active bait with a free bait stringer. I was actually using a marker float on this trip, cast to 13 wraps, which equates to about 1.5 rod lengths from the far bank. It's good to fish tight, but I wanted to avoid fish kiting behind the platforms, and it made baiting up accurate too. I actually think this little ghosty mirror started in focus, but then drifted towards the end. Forgive me for another duck shot, but I can't get over the detail in those little floating feathers at such range. I also took some photos of a nuthatch that was busy tapping away in the tree behind me. The long lens is impressive and will definitely bring something cool to the films. Only last week I was up in Wales with James fishing for wild carp, and we managed to spot an osprey hunting over the lake. What a moment that was. This next carp isn't that bad. Looking at the eye, I think this one's acceptable, and this is because I changed the aperture from f1.8 to f4, so more of the shot is in focus. Oh, and this is a duck seemingly being chased by two carp. And here's another in-focus carp. It would seem that we were improving at this stage, but don't be fooled. All it takes is for me to switch the camera to f1.8 and forget to switch it back again, and then we're back to blurry carp, as you'll see in a minute. Another beautiful scaly carp. The tail is definitely in focus, but the head's a bit soft. And this is the point when I switch to f1.8 to get a blurry background and forget to switch it back as previously mentioned. And there you go, this comment is soft all over. The saving grace being that I know where I went wrong and how to fix it. That's the thing, you can mess up as long as you learn from your mistake, and that goes with everything. We're all human, mistakes happen. It's what happens after that's most important. Check out this snub-nosed dinosaur, what a fish that is, if only the footage was in focus. Besides all that though, I'm sure you can still appreciate what a fish this one is, a proper banger they might say. And through all of these you can see that whilst holding up the fish, I'm chatting to Jessica. She wants to do photography and videography at school, so a few pointers and tips will help her understand cameras, settings, and why we do certain things at certain times. As you can see, it was a cracking session, daytime bites even though it was very warm. And what a game changer the Ninja Cool Box is, 4 or 5 days and the ice still hasn't melted. Yet more fish came my way, and regardless of the poor footage, we were treated to a hatful of carp in various shapes and sizes until dusk fell, the rods came in for the night, and it was time for hot dogs and chill out time with my baby girl. The morning was stunning, still, overcast and cool. Sometime before 6 I was back along the causeway and baiting up over the marker float. The mix consisted of various sizes of pellet, hence the spread, and the 16mm krill boilies. It was the final morning of what was a superb couple of nights away with my Jessica. With the rods out, it was time to make coffee, and I was just grinding the beans when I realised I hadn't switched the alarms on, and the right hand rod was close to being towed across the lake. I wasn't fishing locked up as such, but the clutch was fairly tight due to the close proximity of the far bank obstacles. The first carp of the morning was a lovely blurry little scaly mirror, and after releasing it and returning the rod to the spot, I could get on with making that coffee. The next take was a drop bag, which I find unusual at NMG. And the footage? Yeah, let's not talk about that. The next one, however, was my eureka moment. The tweak was just to whack it into manual focus, switch on focus peaking, and then get Jessica to twist the focus wheel until the fish had red edges. Got there eventually then, genius. And there's Jessica, babysitting a stunning common while I set up the camera. Not quite in focus this one, but she made a great effort nonetheless. With mid-morning fast approaching and both of us gagging for a McDonald's breakfast, we had time for one more fish before a slow pack down, and this beautiful little plated mirror was pin sharp.